Hello and welcome to Unworthy History. Today we got some more actual history for you from this book right here, Indian Depredations in Texas by J.W. Wilbarger, published all the way back in 1889. Now this story we're going to read today is about the son of Josiah Wilbarger, who was the brother of the author of this book, J.W. Wilbarger, and it took place between San Antonio and the Rio Grande all the way back in 1850. John L. Wilbarger was a native Texan and son of Josiah Wilbarger. He was born November 29, 1829 in the county of Matagorda. When he was still an infant, his parents moved into Austin's new colony, now Bastrop County. The subject of this narrative, who was the eldest son, was noted for his daring and enterprising character. Brought up on the frontier and skilled in all the tactics of Indian warfare, he was well qualified to render efficient service when called upon to aid the settlers in defending themselves against their Indian foes. In the summer of 1850, on the 20th of August, he left the command of Colonel Ford, better known as Old Rip Ford, with whom he was serving, on a furlough to visit his mother's family in Bastrop County. He remained for some time with his mother and then, in company with two others, Neal and Sullivan, started back to his command, which was then between San Antonio and the Rio Grande River. On the 20th day of August, 1850, these youngsters were quietly pursuing their journey, suspecting no immediate danger, when they were discovered by a party of Indians, who had once charged towards them, yelling as they came, like a gang of hungry wolves. Neal and Sullivan were shot down at the first fire. Wilbarger, being untouched, put spurs to his horse and fled for his life. The Indians, supposing that Neal and Sullivan were both killed, continued on in pursuit of Wilbarger. They ran him about 2 miles before they succeeded in overtaking him. His horse failing and the country being open prairie, he had but a poor chance to defend himself. He was armed with a gun and 2 six-shooters, and when he found that escape by flight was impossible, he turned upon his Indian foes and made them pay dearly for his life. This was evident from the fact that a number of pools of blood were found near the place where the Indians had killed him. His body, when found, was terribly mangled. The Indians, having slain the brave young fellow, returned to the place where they had shot Neal and Sullivan, fully expecting to find there the bodies of their victims. But Neal had been wounded only and had recovered sufficiently to make his escape before the Indians returned to a chaparral thicket, where he remained undiscovered until they left. After they had gone, he made his way to the settlement at San Patricio on foot and told the sad story of the murder of his young companions. The citizens immediately raised a party to go out and search for their bodies. They found Sullivan lying by his horse, which had also been killed, and they gave him as decent a burial as circumstances would allow. They then went in search of young Wilbarger, whose body was found about 2 miles from the place where Sullivan had been killed. From marks upon the ground, it was evident he had made a desperate resistance before he fell. His body was literally cut to pieces. They also buried him as decently as they could. Young Wilbarger left a mother, 2 brothers, and 3 sisters to mourn his untimely fate. He had lived all through the dangers that encompassed the young republic, and fell a prey to the Indians after annexation, when peace and safety were supposed to have been secured by union with the states. At the request of his mother, John H. Wilbarger subsequently took up and carried his remains to Bastrop County, where they were interred in the cemetery near the grave of his father, Josiah Wilbarger, who, it will be remembered, was scalped by the Indians near Austin. The names of these men deserve to be remembered by Texans, for their blood was shed whilst in the service of the country. So that's the end of this unfortunate story of John L. Wilbarger. He was the son of Josiah Wilbarger, who I've done another episode on. Josiah Wilbarger was scalped by Indians and left for dead, but he actually survived for about another 10 years or so. So unfortunately, the Indians now caught up with his son, John L. Wilbarger, in 1850, and they killed him. So if you want to hear more episodes like this, then be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Unworthy History.